Hi everyone, it's the EnglishSimmer here, and of course, the Sims team, they just decided to update and release a really exciting thing to The Sims 4 whilst I had the flu. Of course they did. If you've been wondering where the heck I've been, why I haven't covered this super exciting news that is honestly right up my alley, it's because I had to take a few days off because trust me, nobody needed to listen to what I sounded like. I'm sure you've all seen it by now, but play with neighborhood stories. Back in, I think it was November, we got the first iteration, which I don't really like the whole first on to future updates that The Sims 4 has been doing recently. I'm like, I kind of just wish they had held off. However, I did actually have fun with that early iteration of story progression. It was the one where it only affected the people that you knew in your world, and they would call you and be like, hey, I found an engagement ring in my partner's bag. Do you think I should say yes, no, or just leave it up to me? This one quite literally blows it out of the water. So basically, you can allow neighbor Sims to die in accidents, have an adoption or a baby, which is so cute. I'm so glad that they can now expand their families, make changes in their career, or move in and out of lots. And this isn't only affected by the Sims that you know, this is everyone that is active in your Sims worlds. Also, we got new scenarios. Too Many Toddlers is back. That was actually a timed one. I don't know why it was timed and then they decided to bring it back. I don't know if it performed well. Who knows? We have Troublemaker, The Kid's a Menace, Choose the Path of Villainy or Surprise with a Redemption Arc. I love a good redemption arc, I have to say. Rom-com, Is This Relationship a Joke to You? Only You Can Write the Punchline. Rich Supervillain, Making a Fortune is great, but you know what's better, Stealing One. Extraterrestrial Researcher, which is very interesting. I actually want to check this one out. Unlucky Chef, Luck has nothing to do with how fire this chef is, and no skills, no problem. Honestly, I cannot keep up with the scenarios that are happening right now. There are so many. Also, there was a bunch of bug fixes. The most important ones to note, we fixed an issue that caused wedding venues not to be available for base game weddings. That has been fixed, so you can now throw weddings at the lot that was actually intentionally made for weddings. Yes, that was a humongous oversight, but it now does work. There's a bunch of scenario stuff that they fixed. Obviously, they have all of these. The My Wedding Stories fix actually hasn't dropped, so my prediction was correct. We are probably going to see that either after the kit on Tuesday or Tuesday the 29th, I think. Would I have preferred paid content to wait until after that had dropped? Absolutely. I know a ton of you are in the same boat. However, I will say I am quite glad that they're actually taking their time to iron out the fixes. However, there are a couple. So ceremony interactions are now available when doing a vow renewal or reception at another Sim's home. I actually didn't have any vow renewal stuff in my game. I couldn't ask people to be my Sim of honor or anything like that. Sims should now show up in their appropriate attire, which was not working. And vow renewal is now only available to married Sims, and wedding ceremony is only available to engaged Sims. How that was a bug is beyond me, but hey, at least it's been fixed. And then there's also a separate one about neighborhood stories. Basically, you can adopt young Sims, become pregnant with their significant other. They can adopt a cat or a dog if you have cats and dogs. I don't like how they've switch those around. It's confusing. It's cats and dogs, not dog or cats, okay? Join and leave careers, move in and out of lots, which this one, I know a lot of people have said they will probably turn off. I will also probably be one of those people. I think I'll keep move into lots, but take off the move out. Cause their homes are their homes. I don't want Sims to constantly move and die in different kinds of accidents. I always want more risk in my Sims game, especially The Sims 4. Also, I would like to say I have actually downloaded a mod. This is Gossip About Neighborhood Stories. It's made by Missy Hissy. I will also leave a link to this in the description down below. I actually think this should have been part of the update itself, and I know a bunch of Simmers have said the same. It's why this mod actually came to be. Acid Law and Iron Seagull. So basically what this does is adds a couple of gameplay interactions that actually gets your Sims gossiping about those changes that are happening. So you can gossip about neighbors, discuss neighborhood changes. So these are actually already in the game. It kind of just ties them into the stories. And you can also check your social media timeline. I actually think this is a really cute way of like looking at these things. I'm not gonna go through every single one of these scenarios, but there are a couple of actually like UI changes. So for example, if we view this, you can actually just like skip through all of the scenarios, which is quite nice. And they've also added a difficulty rating in here. I know that I've said this in scenario videos, and I also know that Kayla Lil Simsy has mentioned this in her scenario videos, but like sometimes the scenarios feel too easy, especially if you've been playing The Sims 4 since base game. Sometimes you would just like an extreme mode. For example, with the toddler one, I would have loved it if you could have like upped the toddlers to 6 instead of the 3 that you needed, just to make it harder for yourself. I don't know why this one is hard. You need one sim who's a young adult or older, and then the sim can become a celebrity chef despite the danger, or they become a celebrity mixologist, which is a safer choice. There's just one little problem. This sim is way more likely than most to accidentally start fires whilst cooking. It's not merely a lack of skill, it's just some freakish bad luck. I don't know how they've actually tuned this, but I really like it. I wish that this could be something that like they could unlock for you actually deciding your sims. I've mentioned this a lot, like when I've talked about like a hobbies pack. I kind of wish that you could like set a level that your sim could only reach. Like if you wanted them to have the trait of like a bad cook, then maybe they can only get to like a level 3 in cooking, and then they can't go any further. Like it literally just locks it. I'm just always down for more options always, and that's what I absolutely love about this story progression update. It's the fact that the Sims team have given us so many customizable options for this. So if we go down to gameplay here, you have neighborhood stories, so you can reset the custom configurations, and then here you can either just enable or disable them. Whilst enabled, neighborhood stories will trigger life changes for households and individual Sims that are not currently being played. Configure which type of life changes are allowed by going to the Manage Households menu. Independently customize configurations for all of my households, other households, or specific Sim households. Uncheck this box to disable neighborhood stories completely. So if you do not want anything changing in your game whatsoever, if you just want The Sims 4 to be the way that The Sims 4 always was, then you can just turn it off here. And then in this menu, we have the Manage Households. So this is my households. Obviously, I'm going to be playing with myself just to see what changes we actually come across. But actually, if you like start to play multiple households in my household, the one that you are actively playing in live mode at that time won't obviously be affected because it can't run in the background. However, you can still edit these. So for example, if I had another household in here, say if I was also playing with the GOTS, and I was playing with the GOTS at the moment, but then I wanted this sim to also have stuff going on in the background whilst I was playing with the GOTS, I could just enable neighborhood stories, and then here you can actually disable and enable whatever you want. And you can do this individually with every single household that's in the game. Do you see how many households are in the game right now? This is every single sim in every single world that they've ever given us who has a house or not. If I somehow didn't want Nancy to die, I could turn off die in accidents, but I definitely want her to die. If anything, they should only be allowed to die in accidents. Or you can actually configure them all together. So for example, if you don't want absolutely anyone moving out, I could just turn that off. This is just, the customization, it's just perfection. Obviously, if you play with MC Command Center, you're probably used to all of this. If you've ever played The Sims 3, you're also probably used to story progression. Here, you can actually check recent neighborhood stories. Nothing of note has happened recently. Check back tomorrow. Okay. I will 3-speed. I'm gonna check the social media timeline on my phone, and this is part of Miss Hissy's. There we go. Miss Hissy's mod has kicked in, and this also ties to the story progression. Clara and Bjorn are expecting a baby in the Bjergsen household. They are from Get Together. They live in Windenburg, so we will absolutely be checking that out. Why don't you check again? See if anyone else has some of the tea that's been going on around the town. The Party House household recently adopted a dog. Oh, stop. Paolo, with his golden retriever energy, has his own puppy. And it actually tells you where it happened. So these both say Windenburg as they are get-together families. We're gonna check recent ones. The Broke household recently moved in. The Broke. Dustin moved into Tartosa. Oh my god, boy has money. The Lynx household recently adopted the cat. Absolutely on brand. Alice Spencer Kim in the Spencer Kim has started a job in Colonel in the detective career. Henford on Bagley. The Scott household, Sarah and Simon are preparing for their baby to be born. Oh my god, they always wanted a baby. So that is everything that's happened. So how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we got 6. So we got 2 babies on the way. We got a dog and a cat. We got a job change, and we also had someone move into a new lot. So that's a good spread, I feel like. So obviously right now you have to like wait for them, like you have to wait for the pregnancy to happen. So they're expecting that will like come in like 3 to 4 days. They'll have a new baby in the household. The Party House actually live in this factory. Let's see their little doggy. Oh, Murphy. Oh, Murphy is so cute. I really like the cats and the dogs aspect because obviously like she had cats already. I'm not gonna know which cat is the bloody new one here, am I? Maybe you? Bartholomew A. Bittlebun Jr. Look at all of these have one word names. And then we have Bartholomew A. Bittlebun Jr. I do kind of wish that we could like share a secret, for example, and that would like come up with some gossip that's been going on. I still would really love to see a rumor system when it comes to this. And that kind of brings me on to like things that I would like to see this develop to, because whilst this is really cool, and obviously I absolutely respect the Sims team on this one. I love the customizability. I love how they gave us such in-depth options. Like, I genuinely just think that's a really good idea for the Sims community, because obviously there are so many different types of players in the community that it's sometimes like when you're playing like a life simulation game, it's like, well, how am I meant to like keep the whole community happy? And like a lot of people want chaos, whereas a lot of people would be like, I don't want that chaos, you're gonna ruin the stories that I'm telling. I actually think this is like the best customizability that we've seen when it comes to story progression outside of like MC Command Center. I think this is actually better because I don't even think The Sims 3 had these settings from what I can remember. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. However, as always, I do have other things that I would like to see in the future. I don't know if this is like the finished product, so I'd really like to see relationship changes. So for example, like Sims can become enemies with one another. Like imagine getting a notification being like Bob and Eliza are now enemies, and you're like, what the hell happened? I think that encourages people to like go in and actually like play with those households and like play with that dynamic. Also, obviously Sims getting divorced I think could be quite fun. Obviously all optional, so you can opt in or opt out if you would like to. Engagement, marriages, dating, cheating, I think all of those could potentially get a lot of players invested. Obviously right now, the only expansion type of thing that we have seen is cats and dogs, which big win. I absolutely love that like more households are now gonna have pets. I would also maybe like to see that in Get Famous with like fame decreases or increases as well as reputation, where I do think the like a rumor system could be really fun. You could like maybe get notifications that like young adults are going off to uni, maybe they like drop out of university. Also, maybe Sims becoming a cult. I don't think that's for everyone. I definitely think that would be one that people like opt out of probably more than the rest of them. Skill increases, I think that could be quite cute. Also, maybe like your lifetime aspirations, like maybe your Sims, like it could actually count those like townies, like, and seeing how they go up in those stages, because then it really does feel like they are sort of like progressive adapting through life. I'm not too fussed about that one, but I do think it could be quite cute to be like, Bob went up a level. However, obviously, with like all the notifications that you get, you don't want to be like so overwhelmed. I really want it to like eventually expand to events in the game, because I noticed that like in my wedding stories, for example, you could actually ask a sim if you could be their like sim of honor. However, they actually like never got married, and like maybe that was a hint towards this finally coming, and like maybe this will happen. But I've been playing The Sims 3 recently, and I really miss just getting a phone call being like, hey, I'm hosting a birthday party, or just like a house party, do you want to come over? Like, your Sims friends used to get in touch with you so much, and they'll call you in The Sims 4, and like sometimes people will ask you out on dates, but they never invite you to a birthday party, even if you're super close with them. And I think that's really weird. I would really love it if your Sims could get invited to like other people's houses for events, marriages, birthday parties, whatever they may be having. Obviously now they can have like more children, which means more birthday parties, but we can't celebrate with them because we never know when their kids are actually gonna age up if you have aging on. I do also think this could be a good opportunity to finally give us customizable lifespans. I know it's a lot of people's biggest gripes with The Sims 4 is the fact that you cannot actually change the lifespan. Obviously, you can choose whether you want it to be short, medium, or long, but in The Sims 3, you could actually choose the amount of days that you would want a sim to be a toddler, be a child, and I miss that. And this just shows like, this just shows what we could have had when it comes to the options of The Sims 4. And I really hope this might be like a good starting point for like looking at those options and really feeling like we can customize The Sims 4. I know I'm saying all of these like 7-8 years into the game life cycle, but I still would like to see it, and hopefully a lot of you would like to see it too. And also maybe frequency settings. Obviously, I've only played for this for like 1 day, so I haven't actually seen like how frequently people will adopt people or like die. Actually, no, we had 2 kids being planned, so like that's pretty frequent. Obviously, they have to go through like the birth and stuff, which is gonna take like 3 to 4 days in Sims time. However, I feel like that's going to be pretty frequent, and I feel like not everyone will like that frequency. So it would be cool if you could have sliders for like obviously each like interaction that you can choose to have in that manage households, and like say, hey, I only want like a new like child being born like maybe like once every Sims week. I don't know if that's a possibility, but I would love to hear your feedback on that, because you've probably had more experience with this than me. If you feel as if things have been happening like too frequently, maybe not frequently enough for you, I would absolutely love to hear it in the comments down below. But yeah, thank you all so much for being very patient with me on this one. Thank you for all the well wishes. I super duper appreciate them. And yeah, I'll probably be talking about this like over the next few weeks and letting you know how it all goes. Tell me your juiciest drama. What's happened in your Sims game since this update came out that you're just like, oh, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that, but I freaking love it. I want to know. I want to know all the goss. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and I will speak to you all in my next one. Bye now.